Disclaimer. This video is for the big kids and only the big kids. If you reside in the human life form known as a minor, then please click away from this video. This video will go in depth for the game Persona 5 Royal, which is rated M for mature. Do you see that nice little right there? That's a big Which means if you're a minor, you can't vibe with this right here. This is a video for the big kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Today, we will be analyzing the dying art of Shakespeare and how Maruki is actually an in-universe metaphor for the arcana of life and death. 47 years ago. Alright, now that all the minors are actually gone, this game. Perfection. Persona 5 Royal is a re-released and updated version of the Atlas game Persona 5, which was released in 2016 for the cool kids, aka the East, and 2017 for the Corona nerds, aka the West. As the name suggests, this game is worthy of the British monarchy and more. Please give it my firstborn. And the plague. Corona would be nice too. Changing the world takes heart. And guns. Don't forget guns. At the time of speaking, I have not actually finished the game. I am about halfway through Monarame's palace with Best Boy over here, just awakening to his persona, Goemon. Right, I've got a game to finish with a script I wrote too early, so give me about 2 days and I'll go ahead and get this done. So until then, I'll see y'all later. Shazam. Sorry guys. My Wi-Fi went on for 3 weeks and I skipped my classes and didn't sleep, and I probably have a hemorrhoid somewhere in between everything else. But how about that? Oh. Yeah. By the way. Massive spoilers. I will be spoiling this game more rotten than that tomato you probably forgot that's shoved in the back of your produce drawer in your fridge. Seriously, throw that thing away. It smells horrible. Anyhow, time to beat up some children. Wait, it's a teenager now? Yeah, let's get it! This video is going to be a longer length than normal. To summarize, I'll be skipping most of the first and second semester story beats. Just the big things. If you'd like an in-depth look at the entirety of the story of Persona 5 Royal, I'd highly recommend checking out these videos. Now, let's get to it. So, you start the game out with a gambling addiction gone wrong, and you get arrested for illegally abusing the system. You know, typical high school behavior. Oh, and you get drugs blasted into your system like helium to a balloon and get kicked around like a doormat.
Like you could, G. Like you could, G.
This is where you begin your self-insertion fantasies and name yourself whatever you'd like. After this, the scene cuts to the hallway outside of the interrogation room you were brought into. Enter Sai Nijima, aka the one woman that saves you from getting gangbanged in the forehead by pancakes. She manages to secure a small amount of time to interrogate you for the case. She asks you to recount everything that happened since the start of April in a short amount of time. Yes, hi, how does this make any sense? Regardless, you now enter the past. Most of the game is a retelling of the events that transpire from the beginning of April to the end of November. What you choose to recount to Sai is up to you, so go take as many medicine baths as you want, champ. And don't leave out any of those juicy details with the prosecutor, am I right? Actually, don't do that. You're a minor, and that's gross, and that's illegal. Once you get off the train, you meet your personal bad boy, Arsene. You also notice a weird app on your phone. You discard the witchy stickies and begin to make your way to the Residence of the Year. As to why you're here on your own, you were walking alone at night and heard a woman getting assaulted by a drunk man. Like a good person, you intervene and save the woman. Also, like a good person, you suffer the consequences by getting a criminal record, being sent away with both of your parents agreeing, and much, much more. One Sojiro meeting and flashback later, and the witchy sticky is back. You delete it once again, being freaked out by the fact that you never actually charge your phone in this game, rather than the fact that an omnipotent force is trying to get you to bonk evil people over the head with a knife. Then again, in a game where there's a demon-like creature in your mask that's literally just a and a chariot, I guess wireless charging all around you makes sense. That 5G stuff be wildin'. You wake up the next day, getting ready to head to the new school you gotta transfer to, Shujin Academy. There, you meet your principal, Mr. Kobayakawa, and your homeroom teacher, and soon-to-be maid, Miss Kawakami. After this, you get to meet the game's first villain, Ronald Kamoshida. He is the coach of the volleyball team. He's very highly respected by the students, teachers, and staff. He was also an Olympic gold medalist back in his prime. Truly a shining figure for this school. Oh, and he's a rapist and a pedophile, I guess. Yeah, that's probably a really, really bad thing. Speaking of really bad things, here's a train crashing.
I like trains.
Oh boy, what fun. Now, we get to the big boy stuff. Presented here is the SIU director, along with the lady fellow that is currently grilling us for talking about something we have no idea we saw. Oh, and this is where you meet Akechi. He's a totally cool dude, I promise. He's not gonna shoot Joker upside the head or anything like that. Oh no, 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 no. He's as soft as they come. As soft as they come.
Goodbye, Goro. How about hello?
Sojiro takes you back to the store and he gives you a diary to record your daily activities. This is how you would save your game for the first time. And with that, my story recap for the first and second semester is over. Yeah, this did end abruptly, but I simply don't have the time to cover everything. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there are plenty of great and amazing videos that have the sole purpose of doing just that. I'm here to talk about what Royal brings to the table, so I expect that the viewers from this point know how everything happened. If not, buckle up. You're about to hear some crazy s***.
The spare coochie, Lady An. This is a threat.
But first, let's do a highlight reel of the best story moments from the first and second semester so we're all caught up to the third semester.
Trickster, welcome to my velvet room.
Damn it! Screw that perfect teacher! You're shitting me. We got him.
Best boy.
Like you cut, G.
Shouldn't we bring Father with us? Don't worry, he'll be fine.
After all this, that's what you have to say.
Before that happens, we will take this country.
Like you cut G.
Welcome back to the present. That took a minute or so, but now we enter the first true change. I said it in the beginning, but I'll say it one more time. This is your final spoiler warning as I'm about to delve into the Royal exclusive content. In the original Persona 5, your only choice was to accept the terms and have a sentence that lasted for about a few months. However, in Royal, Akechi survived? Huh. This hashtag really did work. Anyhow, Akechi takes the fall for you, and you go slay that thick turkey that Futaba just won't shut up about.
Akechi did what?
Killing a god is all in a day's work after all. The next day, all of your friends show up to celebrate a job well done. Later that night, you get on the phone and you... Wait, what? Wait a minute. I could have sworn that... Oh, shit, I forgot to talk about Kasumi. New to this game is the character Kasumi Yoshizawa. She holds the Faith Arcana and is the first year at Shujin Academy. She is a gymnast, as the game very clearly likes to make known. You meet Kasumi pretty early on and you slowly get to know her better. At one point in the story, you meet up with Kasumi at this stadium-looking thing and get transported to a palace that neither you nor Morgana know. Kasumi goes further in, and long story short, this happens.
It's all in your best interest. Filling my life with this pressure. Demanding the results that you want. Yoshizawa? Could she be? And now you're all branding me a failure? Let me remind you who you're talking to. I am Kasumi Yoshizawa!
So adamant. Rather than accept a life in cinders, you strive towards splendor. You know the risks. Well, if those really are the shoes you've chosen, then we'll dance to the end.
This has got to be... Look at that!
I am thou, thou art I. Accept this contract, the spell cast upon you.
I request we have a rematch. This time, I'm going all in with Cendrillon!
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned this before. Anyhow, Kasumi learns you're a Phantom Thief and can now hear Morgana speak. She agrees not to reveal your secret and she rejects your invitation to join the team. Back to the present, a few days later you invite Kasumi to join you and your friends for a little New Year's Eve get-together. Yusuke flexes his scarf like the queen he is, and everyone just vibes. You go back upstairs and reflect on the year that has passed. Now, you go to sleep. This is where the crazy starts. You wake up in prison clothing and find yourself in Shujin Academy. After following the blue bitch for a while, you wake up and get a call from Kasumi. She wants to meet with you for New Year's Day and you agree. You get dressed and notice that some things are off. Futaba walks in and then walks out. You decide it's time for you to walk out as well. You meet Kasumi at the spot you promised and end up running into all of your friends. You still notice that things are off. You walk with Kasumi and then her father shows up, showing his appreciation for the glasses you picked out for him when spending time with Kasumi. When I said you should be familiar with the material, I wasn't joking. Not once did I mention the time where Kasumi needed help picking out glasses for her father. I just don't have the time to cover everything. Speaking of, this happens.
Well, shall we get going?
What?
You go to bed and wake up the next day to see Futaba's dead mother alive. You know, typical high school behavior. Wait a minute, this isn't right. And Morgana is a human? Yep, this is the stick of Royal. The bending of reality to what one desires. I've drugged this on long enough, so here's a short summary of what ensues. Akechi pulls you to the side and calls out your Uno reverse card with a draw 4 wild and says that things are whack.
His hair, whack. His gear, whack. His jewelry, whack. His footsteps, whack. The way that he talks, whack. The way that he doesn't even like to smile, whack.
Kasumi calls you, and Akechi gets the feeling she feels as if things are off as well. You all meet up at the same stadium and see that the palace was there from all those months ago. You all walk in for a short time and see that, as it turns out, this is all Maruki's doing. Sporting that fresh, slick do, he tries to reason with you, but you don't listen. In response, Maruki pulls out the old-fashioned flashback card and drops the bombshell that makes Kasumi one of the most relatable characters in the entire game. Hey, this is a bit of an editor's note. This is freelanced. I would like to stress that this is a very heavy section of the video. I've been joking a little bit, kind of going on and off with jokes, but this is a pretty serious moment. I'd like to issue a secondary trigger warning. I put one in the beginning, I mentioned it during the disclaimer, but I know not everyone's going to be able to hear that, or be able to read it in time, or they don't want to pause. It is what it is. But I'm going to be delving and be showing a scene of suicide and depression. So if any of those topics are a trigger, or even just you don't like that content, I encourage you to skip to the timestamp that has been posted on the screen, and it will not bother me at all. I want you to be okay, so please don't consume this part of the video if you're not okay with it mentally. Okay? Alright, that's all I gotta say. Enjoy the video.
Today was brutal, huh? Oh. Feeling okay? It's not that. Why am I doing so bad? I keep messing up my routine. Your growth spurts just changed your eye level. You'll get used to it. Look, you're as tall as I am now. We practice the same amount. But you are the one who always gets first place. I can't catch up to you, Kasumi. You know why? Because it's my right as the elder sister. We're in the same grade, though. Oh, don't be so down. We'll reach the top of the world together. That's our dream, right? You don't get it. Huh? You'll never understand how I feel. What? Kasumi, if I were like you, things would be so much better. Hey, wait up! Kasumi's the one that people want. Look where you're going! The light's red! Hey! The talented one who can reach the top of the world. Sumire, stop! Listen to me! Sumire! What? Kasumi.
Turns out, Kasumi is actually a girl named Sumire. Sumire is the sister of Kasumi. They're twins that would compete in athletic events together. Over time, Sumire seemed to develop depression due to not being as good as Kasumi. There's gonna be no jokes for this section. This is actually very heartbreaking. Sorry if this seems out of place with no jabs. I just don't feel right making jokes about something like this, especially when so many people resonated with it in a personal way. Sumire attempted to throw herself into the road to kill herself to end it all, but Kasumi pushed Sumire out of the way, killing herself. Sumire developed PTSD from this event and felt nothing but guilt and pain from this. She wanted an escape from this. She wanted to be so much like Kasumi that she literally convinced herself that she was Kasumi. She has a breakdown and agrees to continue Maruki's bended reality to escape her pain. I plan to talk about this more in a later part of the video, but I'll move on for now. You deny Maruki's plan and fight a shadow. After taking the time to fight it, Maruki forces you to spend a week in the new reality to see if you enjoy it or not. A week later, you go back to the palace with Akechi. Over the week, you spent time with each of your party members seeing how they're oblivious to the new reality. When you go into the palace, they all meet at LeBlanc and remark how things are off. After talking for a little bit, they break the reality in their minds and realize things aren't right. You go through the palace and deny Maruki's request to stay in the bended reality. You know, unless you're sadistic like me and wanted to see what would happen if you did agree.
Oh, what a relief. You'll accept this world?
No. Please tell me you're not serious.
Sumire then gets into a fighting stance and starts to fight you and Akechi. She wants to stay in this reality so much that she's willing to fight for it. You beat her, and she's about to pass out. That's when Maruki pulls out the old switcheroo and... Wait, this isn't appropriate for YouTube. You start to fight Sumire's persona as Maruki made the persona go berserk. Right before the persona can deal the finishing blow, though...
Here it comes! I don't think so!
Damn it, Skull. I told you not to rush in by yourself like that. At least it seemed to work out in our favor.
You blow through this fight with your team and Sumire passes out from exhaustion. Your team is then taken out of the palace. You inform your team of everything that has happened. You also recall that your deadline for this palace is February 3rd. The next day, you meet up at LeBlanc to have a meeting as to what to do next. Then, all of a sudden, the teenager calls your number. Lavenza wants to meet with the team at Shujin tomorrow to help guide the Phantom Thieves to win against Maruki. You all agree and head up to bed. You have a nice pep talk with Morgana, and then he starts ascending to the heavens. I'll touch on that later, don't worry. After attending class, you go to Dr. Maruki's old room in the school where he used to work. Everyone else meets you there as well, and Lavenza shows up to explain. This was a bit for my brain to understand at first, so here's the gist. Maruki is a persona user, his ability is being able to rewrite the cognition of others, and that he gained the ability to do this on a large scale once the God of Control was defeated by yours truly. Also turns out that Maruki had granted the wishes of each of the Phantom Thieves. Throughout the game, each Phantom Thief, with the exception of Morgana and Akechi, visited Maruki and let him know what their wishes for what could have been. He rewrote reality to account for these. They wrap up and Sumire shows up at LeBlanc. Sojiro leaves the place to you to have a private conversation. Sumire tells you how she's still unsure of how things are. You convince her that her life as Sumire is worth something, telling her that she can fight. Next thing you know, she wants to join the Phantom Thieves. You walk in for some time and encounter some shadows. Sumire wants to take charge and tries to summon her persona. This, however, fails. What ensues after is...
I appreciate it, but allow me. I chose to stand on my own and fight. It's time I stop being helpless. I hung my head low and took your hand. But I knew all along, deep down, pretending to be Kasumi was not the right way. The weak, insecure Sumire dies today! Violet! You were the one. The only one who stayed true to yourself. Come, Cendrillon! If you don't answer my call now, how else can we make our dream come true?
Such tenacity. It seems to fit you better than ever before. The glass slippers are the icon of glory. Not just for you, but the other girl within you as well. I am thou, thou art I. Are you prepared for your debut? The ball awaits.
Certainly.
Fantastic. With this, Sumire has finally accepted that she is Sumire. It brings a nice close to her arc that's been presented in this semester. The fight then ends with you learning that you can rank up Sumire's confidant 5 more times. After this, you get stopped in the palace. Turns out, you have to go down to Mementos to unlock the rest of the palace. Going down there will trigger events to occur that are able to let you continue in Maruki's palace. I'll cover more of the Mementos changes shortly. Going back into the palace, you're showered with new information about Maruki. More specifically, when he realized he got his powers. It also reveals that Maruki changed Sumire's cognition to make her believe that she was Kasumi back before the events of Kamoshida's palace even took place. Finally, after one more flashback that reveals where and when Maruki awakened to his persona, the palace comes to an end. Well, not yet. The game locks you out of fully completing the palace until an event on February 2nd that is automatically triggered. This event gets you to meet with Maruki for the first time outside of the palace. You deny his offer, and Akechi demands to hear you say the same thing. You learn that Akechi did die in Shido's palace, but Maruki brought him back to life to have a fresh start with the Phantom Thieves. By defeating Maruki, Akechi will die once again as if he first did. You tell Akechi that you're going to defeat Maruki regardless. Doing this makes him ascend to the heavens as well. I said I'll talk about this soon. I'm trying my best here to wrap this up as quickly as I can. I'm barely paid for this. The next day, you all automatically enter Maruki's palace, and, to nobody's surprise, he's there waiting for you. You follow the stairs up to his treasure, and he finally accepts your answer that you won't stand for his reality. He proceeds to ascend and gain a slick uniform change. You fight him for a good amount of time, and then defeat him. You steal his treasure, which turns out to be a torch. This is more metaphorical on how he sees himself as the one that leads others out of their own darkness with his power. You drive away with his treasure, but crash and have to stop. Suddenly, Maruki shows up and steals the torch back. Suddenly, he then evolves his persona into a big boy. You proceed to fight him once again, and defeat him. Suddenly, he gives himself into his persona to be able to win. This triggers the final part of the boss fight. You keep getting your cheeks clapped until Futaba has her ultra gamer moment and realizes you gotta hit the weak spot, being the head. Once Futaba learns this, well, this happens.
His head is his weak spot. Though our attacks are ineffective in his normal state. But whenever he attacks, he drops his guard while concentrating all of his power. So if we can target his head as he strikes, we might have a shot.
Come this far, we ain't gonna give up!
Yeah! You gotta do way better than this!
Don't underestimate our tenacity!
It's just another threat.
We'll overcome it like we always do! If I run now, I know I'll regret it! We'll decide for ourselves what we want our lives to be!
I'm a bit occupied, so do your goddamn job!
Oracle! How does it look? Perfect! His head's defense level has
has dropped down to 0%! Go for it! Finish this, Joker!
Checkmate.
There's a reason why everyone loves this scene. It's good. Really good. After this, Maruki proceeds to finally begin to understand where he went wrong. Before he can actually learn, though, this happens. The place is falling apart now that Maruki is defeated and the Phantom Thieves are trying to escape. As the road underneath them begins to fall apart, well, this happens. Yeah, I used the same ending to a paragraph as last time. Deal with it. They all begin to fly away while Akechi is being crushed by everyone else. Joker is hanging on from the bottom of his grappling hook. While this happens, Maruki uses a last-ditch effort to try to bring down the helicopter. Joker lets go of his hook to take Maruki out, once and for all. He lands down on the glass road and Maruki begins to break down about what he had to give up to be where he is now and to still lose. What then proceeds is a scene I couldn't describe in words if I had to, so just let the game do its job for me.
I have lost. Even if I were to try that fight over, I'm sure I'd only lose again. So I know, this is going to sound pretty stupid. I've been holding this all in for so long, just hiding it from myself. So, please, help me kill every last one of my regrets. You're the only one I can ask to help me with this. The disappearance of my palace, of the entire metaverse, is drawing near. Seems like neither of us can summon our personas anymore. Let's begin.
I gave up everything! Everything! So why? Why, Rumi? A reality where no one suffers.
I'm done. I get it now. All thanks to you. Come on. I said I'm done. Please, let go of my hand. Your eyes are as bright and honest as ever. You keep your head up no matter what. I must have always been afraid. Afraid you and I wouldn't wish for the same reality. So bright.
Once the light blinds the screen, the job is done. Reality is back to as it once was supposed to be. Akechi goes back to being dead, and you go back to jail. Ah yes, full circle mode. You do the right thing, and you still get blamed for it. Persona 5 Royal for the PlayStation 4, everyone. The rest of the crew learns of this fact shortly after and proceed to use all the confidants and connections you have to get out of jail, which takes some time to work, but it does. Once you get out, you have a celebration party. The next day is Valentine's Day, which you spend with the girl of your choice. Personally, I chose Sumire because I wanted to see as much new content as possible. Also because she's a sweetheart. I mean, just look at her. Aww. Then, my birthday happens in the game, and all the other woman confidants you maxed out will give you chocolate as a gift for being a good friend to them, and for breaking their hearts when they need you the most, you soulless cold monster. The calendar skips to the 3rd of March, and there's a scene that shows where everyone is going. Most everyone is moving away or starting school somewhere else. It's a nice scene to add to put a bit of finality to the story. Skipping forward some more, you realize you didn't prep for White Day, you stupid fucking bitch. You get everything ready for a romantic night on the 13th, frantically running for reservations, flowers, and more. The next day, you spend a romantic night with a girl you chose to romance. Or, you know, you're just lonely and didn't have this happen at all. Loser. The story shows its final signs on the 19th of March. You begin to receive gifts from the confidants you maxed out throughout the game. This allows you to have abilities for a New Game Plus run-through if you choose to do so. You get a heartfelt conclusion with each of your confidants. The next day, you leave to go back home. You get ready to take the bus, but your friends are there to take you home themselves. One last romp with them to end the game off smoothly. Well, that's how it ended in Persona 5 Vanilla. Royal added a small but nice change. Turns out, Maruki is still alive and didn't die. He realized the error of his ways and is willing to help you get away from law enforcement that's watching you so you can get to the train station without the moment being ruined. Before you go in, they wave you off goodbye and you walk in with Morgana in your bag, ready to go home. You run into Sumire one more time, ending off your confidant with her as well. You board the train and notice Akechi stroll by outside the train station. As to what this means is up for debate, but take it as you will. With this, the credits now fully roll, and the game is complete. And that is the story of Persona 5 Royal. I did my best to summarize this as quickly as I could, so I'm sorry if I missed a couple of things. Now that the story of Persona 5 Royal is known, what does it all mean? What exactly changed? This video is probably super long at this point, so I'll do my best to hit the heavy things that were changed. Push Square has made a bullet-pointed list showing off the changes, so I'll proceed to read them off to save time and to get straight to the point. Push Square lists the gameplay adjustments, the quality of life improvements, as well as smaller, more general alterations. For the new content in Persona 5 Royal, there's a new character and party member named Kasumi. An entirely new school semester has been added, expanding the story alongside a new palace. A number of brand new animated story cutscenes. A whole new location called Kichijoji is yours to explore, and it's bigger than any other real-world location in the game. Kichijoji has a club that you can visit with party members, opening up new social and bonding events. Kichijoji's club features a darts minigame that enhances the effects of the baton pass for each character. Kichijoji's club also has billiards. There's no actual minigame, but choosing to play billiards strengthens your relationship with each available party member by a small amount. Kichijoji has a jazz bar that can grant party members level ups and stat boosts. Kichijoji has a temple where you can permanently increase Joker's SP through meditation. Kichijoji has a number of shops that offer new services and items. 2 brand new confidants with their own perks. Akechi's social link route has been completely overhauled, slots differently into the story. Some confidants, particularly party members, have additional social scenes. New events such as holidays and additional character scenes have been added to the calendar. New personas. New third form for each party member's persona. New enemies. New weapons. New armor. New accessories. New items. And 2 new story endings. The gameplay additions for Persona 5 Royal are as follows. The Phantom Thieves now have powerful Showtime attacks. Basically, tag team super moves. They're unlocked one by one as the story progresses. All palaces have been reworked to some degree, although largely remain the same in terms of layout. Some palaces have completely new areas. Joker now has a grappling hook that lets you access new areas and dungeons. The grappling hook often leads to secret locations that house will seeds. There are 3 will seeds to find in each palace. Each time you find all 3 will seeds in a palace, you'll be rewarded with a unique accessory. Will seeds also restore a bit of the party's SP. All palace bosses have been reworked in some way, either with additional mechanisms or phases. Some palaces now have additional boss-like enemies and encounters. Rare, unstable shadows can now appear in both the palaces and mementos. On death, they explode, dealing big damage to all other enemies. The Velvet Room now offers special optional battles to take part in for various rewards. This is also where DLC battles take place. The Velvet Room can now go into a random alarm mode, which powers up Persona Fusion and other services, but may also result in unexpected fusion results. The various gameplay adjustments in Persona 5 Royal are as follows. Ammo now restocks after battle, making guns way more valuable across dungeon runs. Some personas have been rebalanced both in terms of stats and available skills. Some enemies have been rebalanced in both terms of stats and available skills. The Baton Pass mechanic has been expanded and is available to all party members from the beginning. The calendar has been reworked in places, allowing for more free time and additional opportunities to interact with your confidants. Morgana doesn't tell you to go to bed quite so much. You generally get a lot of more free time at night, even if you can't leave LeBlanc. Assist mechanic gives you recommendations on which confidant to visit and what stat to improve. Confidants can now call you after you hang out with them, giving you additional dialogue choices and therefore another opportunity to strengthen your bond with them. Some confidants have reworked perks. Other additions in Persona 5 Royal are as follows. Graphical enhancements on the PlayStation 4 Pro, new opening movie, new main menu screen, new dialogue text font in the localized release, some dialogue windows have new visual effects, new and additional character portraits and conversations, around 30 new music tracks, new weather effects have been added depending on the time of the year in the game, New Game Plus now carries over additional bonuses like HP and SP increases, and finally, a complete new trophy list separate from Persona 5's. Once again, all of this information was provided by Push Square in their Persona 5 Royal Changes article. I will leave that in the description. These are most of the changes to Royal. There are some others, but it sums up to most of the changes. As mentioned in the list, one of the benefits was that Royal added the Third Awakening. This happens in the 3rd semester if you max out your confidant with your party members before the 24th of December in the game. Doing this will allow your party members to ascend to the heavens. There are also new events in the game where you can spend time with Caroline and Justine, but personally, I never did these. I just didn't have enough time in game. They're pretty good, so I'll go back one day and try to do these. Alright, I think that's pretty much everything. What I'm gonna do now is talk about
Talk about Tycoon, for fuck's sake!
Wait, what are you doing here, Jackson?
Just talk about the Tycoon game already!
Oh, I forgot to talk about the Thieves' Den. The biggest new addition to Royal is the Thieves' Den. The Thieves' Den is a free-roaming area to explore with lots of activities to do. First off, there's the Palace Maker. The free-roaming area you walk around in is actually your own palace. You can place models from the game and have conversations with certain characters that show up around the models that are placed. There's models from the Velvet Room, the Metaverse, the Daily Life, and the Backroom Decor. On top of the trophy list for the game, there are in-game awards to earn. They're separated into 4 categories: School Life, Confidants, Battle, and Phantom. The School Life awards just consist of the daily activities put to the max. To prove your worth as the Chad you need to be, you must bond with Sojiro and make the best coffee and curry the world has ever seen. Go forth and become one with the gods, you beautiful son of a bitch. Another part of the daily life is how you spend your time with your confidants. You gain certain awards for using certain abilities from certain confidants along with events including them. Flirt with Yusuke 10 times and you got this in the bag. What about the other side of the game? The dungeon crawling. Being in battle counts as its own set of awards. Just shoot everything you see and you'll get this. Eventually. Lastly, there's the fandom category. This involves anything in Mementos or the palaces when you're not in a battle. So get down into Mementos and act like the grandma you are and get those stamps.
What are those?
They are my cross.
Shut your bitch ass!
Another addition to the Thieves' Den is the gallery. This includes art, movies, and music. For the art section, you can view concept art, special art, and archived art in the game. The movie section allows you to look at the cutscenes from the game, special trailers for Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, and a special collection of live concerts. Lastly, the music section allows you to listen to the music from Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. It's separated into 4 different categories: story, daily, battle, and dungeon. With everything I've mentioned so far regarding the Thieves' Den, you'll need to purchase each asset with an in-game currency known as P-Medals. You get these from completing the in-game awards. One last thing about the Thieves' Den is that once a party member joins your team in the story, there will be a panel on the floor that allows you to explore the Thieves' Den as that character. Have you ever wanted to run around as the bane of everyone's existence? Then go, run and scream at everyone to go to bed.
That's bullshit. Stop lying. Lie the down, my darling. And sleep.
Well, that's all the content included in the Thieves' Den. This is more of a fun little thing to romp through every once in a while. It has plenty of nice additions, and I feel like it does what it sets out to do in making the player
For fuck's sake, talk about Tycoon!
Oh my fucking god.
If you won't talk about it, then I will. Give me the microphone. Hand it over.
Okay, fine! God, just do it already. Fucking Jackson won't shut the fuck up about Tycoon, god fucking damn it.
Buckle up, cool cats. We're about to talk about the greatest card game known to man. You see, Tycoon is a Japanese card game called Daifu Go, which actually translates to Grand Millionaire. It's actually very similar to card games like President and Baseball. Tycoon is classified as a climbing card game, which means you play cards from lowest to highest. In this case, 3 being the lowest and 2 being the highest. Yeah, I know. It's kinda cool. Every Tycoon round starts with the player with the 3 of diamonds. The first person to run out of cards becomes the Tycoon. The second, rich. The third, poor. And the last one is the beggar. In all subsequent rounds, the beggar starts first. In Persona 5 Royal, you play 3 rounds for a game of Tycoon. And the best part about it is you get to play with all the characters you get to meet. I mean, not all of the characters, but I mean, like, they're the Phantom Thieves and shit, so, like, you're talking to an expert. You know, I've played at least 24 hours of Tycoon. No joke. Seriously, I need help. And that's basically all you gotta know about Tycoon. I mean, I kinda skipped out on 8 stops, 3 spade reversals, and revolutions and counter-revolutions. It should be fine, right?
Are you done now?
No, I am not done!
Oh, come on, it's not even that good! Why are you arguing with me about this?
You don't even know how to play it!
It's literally just a card game! Why are you so pressed about this?
Divine, you don't understand true game artistry. This is the point of gaming!
Phew. Okay. Took care of that problem. One last thing I want to mention that Royal changes is how Mementos now works. Mementos in Persona 5 Vanilla was... Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. As I was saying, it could have been better. It had one music track, the same layouts that were repeated, and it was a long drag. With Royal, they fixed everything wrong with Mementos. How did they do it? Simple. Egg Boy.
Good job.
Jose is a new addition to Mementos and Royal. To the story, he doesn't actually do anything. They set up a small plotline of him learning more about humans, but it doesn't fully develop as it literally ends with you shooting him in the face. With Jose, the addition of flowers and stamps are added to every floor of Mementos. Flowers are much more common than stamps and are used to obtain items such as HP and SP items, missing will seeds, and extras. Stamps are much less common, being a limited collectible. These are used to make permanent changes to how Mementos can benefit you by increasing the amount of experience you get from battles, the rarity of item drops, and the amount of money earned from battles. These are permanent, making the grind of Mementos much easier. Royal also adds many new music tracks for Mementos, making it feel much more connected to the metaverse as a whole. Other small things about Mementos is that you can now dash while driving to move faster, the Reaper exploit is gone now, and the enemy variety is much more diverse, allowing for easy compendium grinding. Also, this exists. Persona 5 Royal for the PlayStation 4, everyone. Alright, now I'm going to touch back up on the Sumire twist. For those who skipped it the first time, here's another trigger warning regarding the topics of suicide and depression. The timestamp on screen is where I finished talking about this. I played the game blind. I had no idea this was the big twist. Suicide and depression are very heavy topics to talk about. I don't take the mention of them lightly. To see someone like Sumire trying it all with Kasumi not being aware feels like the game's trying to show us that things like this do happen in real life, but we don't know until it's too late. Seeing Sumire go through this arc that lasts throughout the entire game is strengthened by the fact that we didn't even know that this was a true arc until the bombshell was dropped on us much later in the game. That one reveal and how Sumire was handled up to and after that point is the reason Persona 5 Royal is one of my favorite games of all time. This story really does shine in its characters. It's not for everyone, that's understandable, but this story really is something great. Before I end the video off, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Something that's been on my mind this entire time. Maruki. I'll end this off talking about the star of the third semester, Maruki. You meet Maruki after Kamoshida confesses his crimes to the entire school back in May. He offers free counseling sessions for all of the students at Shujin. As mentioned before, he learns of all of the Phantom Thieves' wishes this way, causing the events of the third semester to set into motion over 80 hours in advance. It's something that one could have called, but not to this degree. What makes the third semester even better is how Maruki is handled. They made him so unique. He's not like the other villains in the game. In fact, we can't even really call him a villain. He didn't hurt anyone. He did what he did to give others the lives they've dreamed of. It's an ethical question that the game itself gives you the choice to answer. Is it okay to perform the impossible if it meant you and others could be happy? It incites so much discussion. By framing Maruki as this tragic persona user that lost the person closest to him due to his power, it shows us how strong he is when he doesn't give in to that. He still uses it for good, even after Rumi forgets about him. He isn't corrupted by his power, he's empowered by it. We get to this part of the game where we expect every palace ruler to be comically evil, so to be hit with someone as a palace ruler that's neither right nor wrong is unique. It gives us an experience that I haven't seen posed in a game to this scale before. To see him fall so far from where he was is heartbreaking. We sympathize with him to win, but we also want to sympathize with the goal of the Phantom Thieves. You're put into a lose-lose situation. Both can't win. In the end, you have to pick the side of the cognitive freedom to fully win the unjust game that was thrust upon you, the player. This shows us the theme of the game in full motion. Reality isn't fair. In the original Persona 5, this was shown through the adults who got to do whatever they pleased with no consequences. You get to fight against that by stealing their hearts and forcing them to confess all of the horrible things they did. In Royal, we get that same experience, but with this arc of Maruki's rise and fall incorporated to bring out the strongest points of the theme. Even with Maruki, who didn't truly do anything quite as bad as the other palace rulers, he still fell. He didn't confess any of his crimes due to the fact that he didn't commit any. Maruki really does bring out a new layer to what a villain can be for the Persona series as a whole. It shows us that not every adult is a bad person if they do something wrong. They might just be misunderstood. Persona 5, to many, is their first exposure to the Persona series along with the Shin Megami Tensei franchise as a whole. It was for me. I'm currently playing through Persona 4 Golden. I plan to go backwards and play every game in the Persona series and then branch out to the SMT series. Having Persona 5 be my entry to the series is amazing. Royal expands upon that tenfold, bringing in a new layer of depth to what a Persona game can be. Everyone has their own experience of Persona 5. Whether it be a playthrough of their own, watching someone else play, watching the anime, or even something more obscure. To me, this was my Persona 5 Royal experience. It was one that I'll never forget. Hey everyone, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I know this one's a bit longer, but I appreciate you for staying until the end. For those who don't know, I recently opened a Discord server and a Patreon page. I do this for free to entertain an audience, so if you'd like to support me, please feel free to do so. Want to know what's next? Follow me on Twitter with the handle on screen to check out what I'm up to. Have a great day.
I'm free! Yes! Tycoon! Wait, what's that?